This is a Double Dragon tray. Basically, just clean it in the board. That's what they look like when they're open, when you have to clean the board. As you can tell, there's lots of wear. How you can tell an older Nintendo game, but 31 years old, is basically there's going to be 3 locking pieces as opposed to anything above 88 going into the 90s, like Battletoads or something. So, and here's the board of it. I can't put it all back in yet because I gotta let the Windex clear out. So I'm just letting it aerate a little bit. It looks pretty solid. Here's the first Mega Man. Let me hold it the right way. There you go. There's a little dinge up there, but other than that, it's a pretty solid looking game. You gotta remember, when they developed this game, they didn't really have an idea of what they wanted to do with the game and how they wanted the character to look like, but when they put it on the screen, he looks a lot more different. Yeah. So you're probably going to see the same opening, but to open this one. So basically we're just going to turn this open on my shorts. There's a few little tricks you can do. Now, as I open it, you just want to gently turn them. You'll feel when they're loose. See how I did that? There's a screw, and boom. There's where the screws are. So you always want to keep everything in organization. Gotta be good with your hands also when you're opening these games and closing them. Putting electronics together. It's not too difficult, but if you're going to be going into like the likes of a Nintendo 64 or even an NES, original Nintendo, it's best to get somebody that has qualifications such as myself, or take it to a repair shop that specializes in that stuff. There we go. And it's just, these are pretty basic to clean. And why I'm making this video is I'm trying to prove to you how easy it is to clean one of these games. Interesting. Oh, it is open. That's a smooth screw in there. I don't mean that by any rude meaning. Kind of slipped out. Literally. Okay, so this game's never been taken out. You know what, I'm not even going to touch this. This came out of a place called DK Oldies down in the United States of America, in a town called Morgantown, Pennsylvania. From Drew and Rob and Ash and I know there's another guy that works there in inventory, throwing a few names out there. But if you look at that game, oh, that is a nice one. I'm just gonna look at it. No, this looks beautiful. I love seeing games that have been taken care of. As you notice closely, the only thing that is missing is a precision screw, but a lot of people take these out. The reason why, all you need is the 3 mounting screws, roll them in, you can crack that board, and once that board, that actually works as a conductor. So it could stop the board from working. So you see all this stuff. And basically, that is actually for a Famicom system. So at one time, the adapter for the Famicom was actually right in here. So it was like a triangle, just a long triangle, and you put it in the bottom of the Nintendo Entertainment System, and basically you put it back together. No, I basically took it out, and if you had a Famicom game, you could play it. So if you had the Japanese version of Super Mario Brothers, here you go. I'll be honest with Japanese games, at first I thought they were exciting until you play Star Fox. It's good, but if you don't understand the language, you feel like if you know somebody that would like to own the system and could give you a fair deal and is bilingual in the language, I'd rather them to own it than me. It's just, I don't speak the language, but it is interesting. But I have learned a few words, but they speak like it's just a different language, and it can be a little frustrating. And almost put the wrong bolt in. So here's what we're gonna do here. Try to get the right bolt. Some of these can be tough. One thing you don't want to do when putting games back together is not panic. I remember when I started with these security drivers, is that I was a little nervous, and I was opening games that were over 30 years old, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could destroy this game in seconds. You can't think of it like that. You gotta think of it, well, it's just a game. It's like what Paul McCartney says in that awesome song, it's just another day. If you grew up playing it, then you can grow up fixing it. And that's the best way. Sorry, I'm giving you a highlight of my cotton socks. If you're wondering what that stain is, that's just mall car glue. If you don't believe me, up there is some of my mall cars. So just turn it the other way. That bright orange screwdriver shows you. But just watch my thumb. Really zooming in on this. So yeah, that's good. Yep, it's good. Gonna check it on the edges. Everything seems to be good. Okay. And while I'm doing this, is just see Windex if it's wet, just a basic check. Okay, the board can go back in. This takes a different style of screwdriver. You can find it No Frills, so check your local supermarket, No Frills. In Canada, No Frills, so down the States, I don't know what one you would want to check. My friend on Facebook would know. He works in a grocery store, and is probably one of the coolest looking Pontiac Firebirds on Facebook. And he knows who he is. He's a good guy. And yeah, so we're just gonna get this back together again. And this guy, these ones are just a little more trickier. Not really. These screwdrivers are made by the same company that makes my father's tractors. These are like Kubota screwdrivers. Basically, they're for precision screws. This is an older game. It's 31 years old, and when you take it apart, you really have to know what you're doing. You can't just put it back together. Oh, it's not that bad. Sorry I said that. But these ones are a little more tricky because you got the straight screwdriver, but the flats, I know the name of it. I did take a woodworking class. See, it's not Robinson. It might be Robertson. I should know that name because I know people with the last name Robertson. Can't say who they are. Now, if you are putting these back together and you're nervous, I just advise you to use a Windex wipe on them. That's what I do. And yeah. Wow. This one is almost ready. I always find it's going to be your third screw is going to be your hardest. It's always funny, but these old Nintendo games, your third one is going to be the hardest. There we go. That's good. It's back together. We're done two now. So, Dragon and Mega Man, done. Now we're up to Metroid. This is original Metroid, not the ones you see on the NES Classics. If I wanted to own an NES Classic, I just don't have the storage space, to be honest with you. I got a lot of systems. Some I can't even put out yet, and I'd love to have them out. That's the bottom line. You can't really play them on the rug. It's risky, because you can damage the system. Certain systems. You just have to do what's right, and when you're finished a game, take your time and get it done. And don't play it excessively. My advice to people, when you're playing video games, only play for 20 minutes. If you start playing over that 20-minute mark, that's when it starts to get monotonous, because you feel like you're doing the same thing over again. And then you start making mistakes, and then you get frustrated. People that know how to play games, play video games, know this. And it comes down to just being that person that understands what they're doing. But some missions in certain games, I know in GTA V, GTA 5, you just have to keep trucking through it, keep working through it, and mission times can go over 30 minutes. Because of the length of the mission. But don't blame the gamer, blame the producer of the game. There's another trick you can do, but it's not a wise trick. You should always take them, clean them the other way. This one's got some erosion on it, as you can tell on that. It's clean, but the erosion right there on those edges, it's kind of frightening. This actually could have a battery on it. I'm not sure. No. Interesting. It's 31 years old. It's got the triple mounts. Okay. So there's proof. Nintendo worked with Sony back in the day. There's a lot of things you can learn when you open these things. Nintendo Entertainment System, Sony. Sony actually wanted to put on the Super NES. Basically, a disc drive, which would have been inaugurally the PS1. But then they went and they helped out. They went to Sega after a big disagreement with Nintendo. Sorry, I just got off work. So, anyways, after having an argument with Nintendo and splitting ways, they went over to Sega. They showed their ideas, and Sega applauded them. And that's how the Sega CD came. And Sony did that. And that's why Sega CDs are over $200, because you got Sony components in them. And Sony's a good name, and the brand, one of the better brands, more reliable. Some people like them, some people don't. They have their weaknesses and flaws. One thing I don't like about Sony is that if you're on a limited budget and you're trying to do photo finishing, forget about it. You have to get friends with a laptop and transfer your data onto their laptop, and basically that's the only way you can do it. I'm just gonna take this apart again. I gotta do a full clean. It's a little more shinier. Everything fits back together, and look at that. You guys new in a little while. I gotta pop these screws out. I'm gonna stop the video here. I hope everybody learned something. There's quite a little education on Sony. I've known it before. There's a few other games in my collection that have it. Why I don't talk about it, and how I learned the knowledge that I do. I got it from Adam Korlick. He taught me a lot about video game repairs. And basically, he's one of the best. If you want to learn, I advise Gamerade, because I don't take in systems on a daily basis and do steady videos. And I'm doing this with a phone camera, so you have to deal with that, where Adam's got the technology. But I have given honorable mention to No Frills and places like that. I forget the other place, but it'll come to me. These it's just it's a lot of work. it's not fun when you have to clean your whole entire collection. Is it monotonous? Yes. And perfect. Got all the screws. That's not sarcasm. I'm a pretty straightforward guy when I'm on my level. That's how calm I can get when I'm at work. That's the way I get. I'm just so quiet, and so you gotta understand about that. It's just, there we go. It's done. So I'll see you. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it got a little long, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I'm just gonna let that dry, and that's about it. Okay, I'll see you. Bye.